Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shiva David. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Okay, and we had a nice davening today, despite the fact that there was almost a zaka, right? Almost.
Yeah, maybe somewhere.
Yeah, there was in a lot of places, but Baruch Hashem, Hashem spared us. Maybe we got to daven. Baruch Hashem.
We had good kavanah this morning.
Baruch Hashem. Hashem always protects us. Because Hashem tamid ohevot. Okay. What?
Hoodies.
Hoodies, yeah. Hoodies. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, here we go. We're going to learn something very, very, very beautiful today. Amidst Hashem. We did a lot of siyata d'shmaya. And I'm going to explain to you why. Okay? So we're in Likutey Halachos, Netilas Yadayim, Halacha Vav. And today we're up to letter Mem, which is 40. Okay. So we're going to learn today the side of Kriyas Yamsuf, the secret, how did Kriyas Yamsuf take place and what was going on. Now, the Holy Arizal was in regard to this, he didn't want to reveal this, but his student, Reb Chaim Vital, was very adamant and wanted to learn about this secret of this Kriyas Yam, the splitting of the sea. How did this work? So the Arizal gave in to his student, and they were sitting outside, and Reb Chaim Vital writes this in Shar Kavonis, that they were sitting outside and they were learning, and as the Arizal was teaching, a raven came over. A raven was making noise, and it was flying over the Arizal's head. It was flying over his head. It was making noise, and the Arizal said, "Baruch Dayan Emes." Like we say when someone passes away, Baruch Dayan Emes. Didn't understand. Well, what is this? So Reb Chaim Vital said that what happened was, the Arizal said that the raven told me that because I revealed this secret, my young son is going to die. Wow.
Okay.
So it says that Reb Chaim Vital writes that the Arizal went home. His little son was Matayel in the Chotzer while he was playing with him. That night he went to sleep, he got sick, and 3 days later he passed away. Yeah, so we have to be careful. Okay. So now this what the Arizal was teaching was something that Rabbi Shimon in the Zohar in Parshas Beshalach, said, I'm going to teach you this principle, but you don't ask questions on this and don't test it. Okay, this is what he said. He had a disclaimer. What do you call it? A disclaimer. A disclaimer, right? Do not ask questions and don't try it and don't. Okay. Don't exactly. That's exactly what he said. Don't try it at home. Okay. So here we go. So what was this whole idea? So this whole idea is like this. We have a statement that says Ka'aya lafike mayim ke nafshi sara gelecha elekim, right? You have an ayel that's crying alafike mayim, right? Alafike mayim, and ke nafshi tara gelecha elekim, right? Hashem, right? Remember those words, right? Famous words, right? Yeah. So the Zohar teaches that there's a certain ayel, there's a certain kind of a deer that is very beloved by Hashem. Not only is this deer beloved by Hashem, this deer is actually the I guess you can call him the shliach tzibur for all of the animals. He prays for all of the animals. Right? It says like this. It says whenever there's a drought and the animals need their water, they all come to this ayel and they say to him, "Pray," and Hashem listens to the prayer of this ayel. Okay, he listens to the prayer and he gives rain. Okay. It also goes on to say that there's female deer, the same type of deer, right?
Am I in the wrong place? I don't see anything about this.
I'm explaining it to you, so that way when we read it, I'm giving you a preview. Okay. Otherwise, they're just going to read things, and you're not going to understand it at all.
Okay.
We're still not going to understand it, but we'll have some. We'll understand that we're not understanding it. Okay. 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 So then there's a female. Then that is deer. When the deer is about to give birth, there's a problem. That the opening is sealed. So the deer wants to give birth, but it can't give birth. Right? You understand? All right. So it says that the deer puts its head into that area. The deer puts its head, and it cries. And Hashem sends a snake. You hear this? He sends a snake, and the snake comes and bites the area and tears it, and then the deer gives birth right away. Right? Okay? And the Rizal says, don't take a deer and try this at home. Okay? All right? So that's the statement. Okay? This is how it is. Whatever. Okay? Got it?
Got it.
Okay, now, let's see. Now, Mem. Okay? V'zeh b'chinas soid nelam mevoye b'kavonesh shel shvi shel Pesach. And this is the secret that's really hidden, that regarding Shvi Shel Pesach. Well, what's Shvi Shel Pesach? That's when Kriyas Yamsuf happened, right? We learned yesterday the idea that you have the 6 days, right? The 6 days. On the 6th day, the 6th night, right? That was Shvi Shel Pesach, and that's when Kriyas Yamsuf happened, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's written it's written in the Pri Eitz Chaim, in Shar Chag HaMatzos, in Peiches. Okay. In Kriyas Yamsuf haya b'soid hahu nochash de nochish. Right, with the secret of Kriyas Yamsuf was as if this snake that bites. Now you understand why I told you about the snake that bites, right?
Giving birth to Israel.
Exactly. That's it's not something necessarily physical,
right?
But it's just a metaphor to understand what is going on. So in other words, the secret of how Klal Yisrael, we said that yesterday, we learned the idea that Kriyas Yamsuf was the final part of our redemption, right? That was the final stage of, we became the people we were supposed to become at Kriyas Yamsuf. Not necessarily when we went out of Mitzrayim. But when we came out of, and why was that? Because we already counted 6 days of the Sefirah, remember?
Yeah.
We counted our days, we're counting, right? So we're doing something. That's what's called the Serusa de la Sata, right? We did something. You follow? In other words, you have to do something. We did something to get us to this point where we will be able to become the Am HaNivchar, the chosen nation. And this was the point of coming to the chosen. Now we said that there was a problem, right? The angels were giving HaKadosh Baruch Hu a little opposition, right? They were saying, Halolu Avdei Avodah Zarah, Halolu Avdei Avodah Zarah. These people serve Avodah Zarah and they do. So why are you saving them? Why are you saving them over them? So Hashem sometimes uses different methods in order to get around what he wants to do, again, within the confines of the rules that Hashem made. Right? Again, Hashem made all the rules, and he chooses to play by the rules of his rules. Right? Again, Hashem can change anything and make anything happen. That's not a problem. But again, Hashem chooses to do it in that way of the way he set things up. So he set things up in a way of checks and balances, right? We call it checks and balances, right? In other words, here, you have these. So again, there's this concept of the nachash that comes and opens up the womb of the deer, and then the nation can be born. We're going to explain that. Don't get okay. Now, I know. The main point of Kriyas Yamsuf was Moshe Rabbeinu b'koichai hagadol me'oid me'oid himshich zeh adas hakodesh hanal shel bein v'talmud Ad lemata lemata ma'oid ma'oid. Moshe Rabbeinu was able to take this das, this knowledge of Hashem, as Malay Chalaretz Kavoida, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, he created everything, and Hashem is controlling everything. He was able to infuse this into everyone, to the great people, and to the lowest of the lowest people. Even those that were in the lowest level, we even said the Shifcha Kananis. It wasn't even part of our fold. They also experienced something. Tachtoina, right? Mioid b'shol tachtias umitachtav shegam heim yoidu ki Hashem itam adayim. That everyone should always know this point, that no matter where you are, Hashem is still with you. Hashem never ever leaves you. You hear this? This is what Moshe Rabbeinu taught everybody. No matter where you are, no matter what level you're on, Hashem is there with you. Even in those places, wherever you may be, there's nowhere you can go. Like we said, you can run, but you can't hide. Right? You could run away from Hashem, but you can't hide from Hashem. Because as you run away, He's running with you. And Hashem can run faster than you can run. So He'll always be there. Because again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu fills the world with all of His glory. And anywhere you have in this world has the presence of Hashem. Until even those low people, they did something to try to come closer to Hashem. Whatever movement they did, whatever thought they had, they did something. They did something to try to feel closer to Hashem. Whatever that may have been.
Karpas.
Until everyone made the statement and we all proclaimed. Right? We all proclaimed by Kriyas Yamsuf, Vayaminu b'Hashem u'v'Moshe Avdo. We made that proclamation that we believe in Hashem and Moshe. Right? We say that every morning, don't we? Right? And then we say, Oz Yoshir. Right? We made that proclamation. Shazei'ike shashuav ki kemoi shashem yisbarach meniach kol el yoinim malachim usrofim. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He has all of His malachim and srafim, His burning angels, and His all kind of angels. He has myriads and myriads and myriads and myriads of angels. Right? Hashem puts those all aside. And He wants our service. You hear this? Hashem has probably billions and zillions, who knows, I don't know how many malachim. He puts them all aside, and when Yankel, or Beryl, or Shmer, or whoever it is doing something in this, Hashem, keep quiet, everybody. I'm listening to this. Can you believe that? Hashem says, keep quiet. Tells all about, keep quiet. I want to hear what's going on here. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're in a busy room, right? You're in a place where there's a lot of noise, right? And you're trying to listen to your kid. Kid's trying to tell you something. And you just can't hear with all the noise. Hashem quiets them all down. I want to hear what He's saying. Wow. Kain kol ma shemadrega nemucha psucha b'yaisa. Is the lower the level of the person, this is so unbelievable. The lower level of the person. When that person, which is so low, he comes close to Hashem any what way. You understand? It makes great joy up on high. That this guy, look at that. He's involved in all of this stuff, and he turned away from that to come to me, Hashem says. Wow. It's so different than what we think. We think Hashem only listens to the great tzaddikim, and He's only paying attention to the great people. It's not true. Hashem has more joy when any person Even though whatever he's involved, it doesn't matter, but he turns to Hashem. That's amazing.
Isn't this the ani? The poor person? Is that
The ani.
Is that part of who we're talking about here?
And we're talking about any Jew.
Yeah.
Any Jew that's very low. But from that place, he turns to Hashem in any way. He looks to God for whatever type of salvation. He recognizes there's a Hashem in whatever level he can, or she can. Right? V'bechinas kad osi Yisroi kedei nisyaker v'yis'ala shemoy dekutshe brichu. And what's Rav Nassan's proof? Take Yisroi. Yisroi, remember Yisroi, right? Moshe's father-in-law, Jethro.
Yeah.
Jethro, right? Yeah, okay. Yisro, right? We have a parsha, Yisro, right? Yisro comes. Who was he? He was Kohen Midyan.
Yeah.
He was the Pope, right? I mean, on that level, right? He was the head Gala, the head priest, right? He served all of the idols, everything. You can't get much lower than that, right? Right? He served every idol, every single idol. It says he served every idol. He knew every single idol. Could you imagine what that is? I can't. Remember that said when Moshe came to Hashem, when Moshe came to Paro, and he said there's a Hashem. So Paro took out his book of all the different gods. You know, we used to have those telephone books, right? Those big telephone, right? He had one that was much bigger than that. It had all the gods in it. He's looking up at it. He doesn't find Hashem in there. It's not. But Yisro knew all of it. He served all of the idols in that book.
Wow.
Could you imagine a telephone book of different idols? And he served all of them.
I didn't even know there were that many.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! No, look at this! Look at this! But it says Kad Osi Yisro. When Yisro came, Kedenis Yaakov Yis'ala Shmai the Kutcher, it rose up the name of Hashem so much so. It brought such great joy to Hashem. So much so that caused Kabbalah HaTorah. It's in his parsha. Right? Isn't that strange? The parsha of Kabbalah HaTorah is named by Yisro. So he was a priest, a pope.
Yeah.
He was a galach, whatever you want to call him. I don't know. Kohen Midyan, right? Right? Kohen Midyan, right? And he comes to Hashem and he says, I know you, Hashem. I know that you're the real Hashem. Could you imagine that? After all of those idols, he comes to Hashem. He says, I know that you're the real God. Because how do I know? Because I knew all the other gods.
Yeah, it makes sense actually that because he knew all the other gods. He said, they don't.
It was like Avraham Avinu. It was like Avraham Avinu.
Yeah.
Avraham Avinu had in his Masechta Avodah Zarah, there were 400 chapters. The Medrash said he had 400 chapters because Avraham Avinu knew all the gods. He didn't serve them.
Right.
Yisro served them. Avraham Avinu knew the gods. His father was in the wholesale business, right? His father was a wholesaler for the idols, right? So of course he knew that he knew them, but he didn't serve them. Yisro served them. It's a difference to know about them and to serve them, right? Mm-hmm. Right? There's a difference to know about something and then to involve yourself in it. Correct?
Yeah.
So Yisro is served it, but that's gave Hashem the greatest pleasure that this guy, he came to me.
A goy.
He came to me. Yeah. Wow. Okay, you understand? Okay, fine. Okay, this is so. Wow. And this is the idea that the nachash bites, the snake bites, and then okay. That makes the unification. That brings about the unification, right? The snake bites. Brings about a unification. Shu Said Kriyas Yamsov, and that's the secret of the Kriyas Yamsov, the splitting of the sea. Hamavaya beKavonos and the Priyetz Chaim. Okay, Kimavaya, Yimuva b'divrei rezichreinu levracha b'Torah Ashrayam. Rabbi Nachman writes about this also in lesson 13. Lesson 13 in Likutey Moharan. Okay? Mama Zoya Kodesh Me'ein Zeh Shu Hai Chaya Kad Isaberes. Then he writes that there's a certain kind of a chaya, there's certain, like we said, it was the ayeles, the deer, and when it becomes pregnant, right, when she has, okay, mevoya amuva shedaika ayedesha atzadik agodol b'mala mala hanefoshes hapegumos mioid sheheim bechinas moris nefesh, right? Through the tzaddik, even the lowest souls, because the greater the tzaddik is, the farther he can go down and to rescue the souls, right? The greater you are, the lower you can go down and not get affected by it, right? So the great tzaddik can do that. Bechinas nefesh re'eva, right? Umachniim umachnes oisam gam kein l'soich klol yesharei hanefoshes hakadoshim umalo oisam bechinas ibar, and he brings them back. Even those lowly souls, he brings them back, and they become as if the ibur. They become as if it was like a impregnation. That makes a tremendous unification with Hashem. Okay?
So they're like being born again.
Yeah, they are being born again, right? Yeah, they're coming in.
Not to sound like, those people, but...
Yeah. No. Where do you think they got the concept from? Al-Maimah Rabba Bar Chana in the Puk Chazi Gevurta the Morach the Afilu Meloi Chuta the Choli Leis the Ovid. Go take a look. That what it's written, what's his name? Rabba Bar Chana is saying over there. Right? Ayin Sham. Okay. This is the secret of Kriyas Yamsuf that we spoke about in the Kavanas of the Arizal, Nezoyer Kodesh Hu, Alpi Maimer, Azoyer Kodesh, Hanal Be'inyan, Neshichas, Hanochosh, Sheheim Bechinas, Meichen the Katnas. And that's the point. That's the part of Meichen the Katnas. We were in the Arizal. The Zohar in the Arizal explains that we were in a place of Meichen the Katnas. What's that? We were in a small-minded. We were small-minded people. Why? What does that mean? We just came out of Egypt. What kind of understanding did we have? We were brought up in the society with Egypt, right? In Egypt, where everything of the people over there were all involved in all kind of idol worshiping and immorality. What did we have already? What did we see? Right? We had a Meichen the Katnas, small-mindedness. We didn't understand greatness. Kamay Mivoyesham, Hainu, Daika, Ayedea, Nefoshes, Apagumas, Mioid, Shafilu, Kishimalin, Oisam, Heim, Bechinas, Meichen the Katnas, Ki Bechinas, Nochash, Nechas, Bahem. Because the Nachash is attached to them. The Nachash is attached to those people. The Nachash at Kadmaini, that original Nachash, the Sitra Achar. Right? The Sitra Achar is also known as the Nachash.
Right.
Right? He's known as the Nachash.
So why is he doing good here?
No. He's attached to them. The Nachash is attached to them. Right? Meoid, Yadam, Daika Nasa Yichud, through them. Because they're attached to the Sitra Achar. But the Tzaddik pulls them away. The Tzaddik pulls them away. So the Nachash is biting. Right? The Nachash is biting, thinking it's doing something bad. It tears. The Nachash is biting, tearing. But what's it doing? It's actually doing something good. It's all what Hashem does. As Hashem sets this up. And Rabbi Shimon writes over there, it's unbelievable. You take a look, he has that disclaimer. It's in the Zayir and Bashalach, okay? He has the disclaimer. Don't get yourself a female deer and try this. Don't do that. He says, don't do that. Because Moshe Rabbeinu was that great tzaddik, right? Moshe Rabbeinu was that great tzaddik on that high level that we can't and no one can comprehend. Moshe Rabbeinu said to us, right? What are you crying? Now's not the time to daven. Be quiet now. Why are you crying? Why are you davening? This is not the time to be quiet. Remember we said sometimes when you have the things going on around you and you don't understand and you start asking questions on Hashem. Hashem, why this? Why that? Hashem, no, quiet. Quiet. Atem tacharishun, right? You have to be quiet and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of it. Vatika Talia Milsa. Vatika Talia Milsa. Okay. Ki efsha la'aloisam u'lesaknam ki im al-yedei bechinas atika. We can only take them out from this idea of atika, which is the keter, which is the highest place. Right? The HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes from the highest place to get us out. Dainu al-yedei araisa da'atika sesima, from this hidden Torah. Okay. Kimavaya moving b'divrara zechreinu l'vracha b'Torah meishor. Okay. Oveshar mekaymais sha'acholim b'cholei hanefesh b'yoser. Listen to this. He writes it. Rabbi Nachman writes this in lesson 30, in the second letter in the Torah. Sha'acholim b'cholei hanefesh b'yoser. Someone that's very, very, very sick. Spiritually sick, right? The people we understand people that it can be physically sick, right? But there's an idea to be spiritually sick. So he that is very spiritually sick, if you want to save them, you're going to have to get a great rabbi that's on a very, very high level, that knows how to camouflage the words in order to be able to get it into that person, in order to be able to help that person. Because the person can't necessarily hear the truth. But you have to tell the truth in a very roundabout way. But you need a very great person that knows how to do that. You follow? Can teach them and illuminate to them from something from a very, very high place. From that place. And then that's how they can get their refuah. And that's how we got our refuah. Because again, we were in that Meichud Nekatnas. We were very low people. It was true. We were involved in Avodah Zarah. We were very low. But Moshe Rabbeinu was able to teach us and show us the greatness of Hashem. Because he was on such a high level. He was able to take the teaching from such a high level and bring it down to us, that what we needed. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. This lesson is amazing. Really. It's just to understand there's such things like this going on. How you really only have to understand one thing. Hashem has his systems and how he runs things. And all we have to do is turn to Hashem. That's what we have to take from this. And no matter where we are, no matter what level we're on, just turn to Hashem. And all great things happen. That's it. That's all we have to take from this. No matter where you are, no matter what you just turn to Hashem, trust in Hashem, and watch everything, all the goodness, all happens. Okay? Got it so far? Any questions on this?
Many questions, but it's okay. So that's where
the takeaway is trust in the tzaddikim,
right?
Trust in the great tzaddik, trust in the teachings of the great tzaddikim, right? And turn to Hashem.
They're almost like his angels for the Jewish people.
They are the angels. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Okay. Let's go to Mem Aleph, okay? Yeah. V'zeh b'chinas ma shekriyas Yamsov haya ayedei atzmas Yosef. Oh, hey, look at this. Kriyas Yamsov came about via they were carrying the Aron of Yosef. Remember when it came to Makis Chayshech, right? So we were going around all the houses. We were looking at in the closets and all the things to see what they have, right? We didn't take anything. We were looking. We were doing inventory.
Yeah.
Right? We were doing inventory. Okay? And then after Makis Chayshech, we asked them at 3, hey, can I have that? You have a nice watch and those candlesticks. Oh, I don't have that. Oh, yeah, it's in your closet over there. I'll show you. How'd you know that? Right? But while we were doing that, Moshe went out to try to find the Aron of Yosef. Right? He went out. He was busy with that. We were busy with trying to advance our financial gains. Right? Right? We were busy working on our financial gains. But Moshe Rabbeinu was going out there trying to find the Aron of Yosef. Isn't that amazing? As we say in Tehillim, we're going to say in Halachos, we say Hayam Ra Vayonas. The sea saw and it split. It skedaddled, right? Vayonas. And why was that? Because Yosef HaTzadik, when it was that morning, and he came with Aisha's Potiphar, remember? Mrs. Potiphar, right? And she tried to seduce him. What did he do? He ran. He ran. So the Yamsuf says, okay, Yosef, if you ran, I have to run. Right? You ran, I have to run. Isn't that amazing? You ran, I have to run. This is similar to what happened with Moshe Rabbeinu with the rock. Right? Same principle. Moshe Rabbeinu saw the Jewish people, and what did Moshe Rabbeinu say? They were complaining, right? We're complaining to them. We need water. We need more water, right? Again, we're complaining. So what does Moshe Rabbeinu say? Shimu na Amorim. Listen up, you rebels. Again, this is Moshe Rabbeinu. Chas v'shalom, I don't ask no questions on Moshe Rabbeinu. Never. No one should ever. But this is what Moshe Rabbeinu said, right? I guess everyone's patience gets tried, right? Right. So then Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, talk to the rock. Right? Talk to the rock, remember? Talk to the rock. So Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to the rock. He did. He talked to the rock. And he went to another rock, and he went to another. He was talking and talking. Nothing's working. It's not working. Then he gave the rock a bang. Nothing. He banged it the second time, the water came out. So the Kedushas Levi asked this question. Says, well, what was it? Was it the fact that he called them rebels? Or was it the fact that he hit the rock? The Kedushas Levi said it's really one and the same. It's one and the same. Because he called them rebels. The rock said, hey, wait a second, Moshe, you just said that these people are rebels. If they're rebels, that means they're not doing the Ratzon Hashem right? If they're not doing the Ratzon Hashem right, why should I do my job and give you water when you talk to me? I was created to help the Jewish people, right? You understand? I was created to help the Jewish people. If the Jewish people are doing what they're supposed to do, I'll do what I'm supposed to do. But if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, why should I do what I'm supposed to do? Here, Yosef HaTzadik did what he was supposed to do. He ran. So the Yamsuf says, okay, Yosef, you ran, that means I have to run. You did the right thing.
Yosef ran. Oh, he ran from Potiphar, okay.
He ran away. Oh, so the Yamsuf says, okay, you did what you were supposed to, now I got to do what I have to do. Water again. You see, it's all about water. It's all about water because the pleasure is all connected to water. Water by Moshe, water here, same thing. Unbelievable. Okay. Al Yedei Zechus Avos, Kamei Shemer Zechreinu Levracha, through the Zechus Avos, through the Zechus of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the Avos. V'apal pi chen, Haya Kosher Lefanav Kol Halayla. But it was still difficult for Hashem the whole night. Wow. Again, there was the opposition, right? Hashem is warding off the opposition. He's constantly fighting the opposition. Until the morning, he remembered the schus of the Avos HaKadoshim. It's in the Zayah and Parshas Truma. The kosher l'chayra. Haloi schus Avos haya yochel lizkar gam mikodim. Hey, wait a second. How come he only remembered the schus Avos in the morning? How come he couldn't bring that up on the onset? Right? The merit of the forefathers. The merit of the forefathers. Why was that only brought up in the morning? He could have brought that on in the onset. The schus was already there. Now we'll understand, based on what we just learned, now we're going to try to understand this. Why did Hashem only remember the schus Avos in the morning and he didn't use it in the beginning? It was the Aron of Yosef that got us through in the night. Avram, Yitzchak and Yaakov v'Yosef, v'chol ha-shiva royim. The main merit of the Avram, Yitzchak and Yaakov and the 7 shepherds, right? The 7 shepherds of the lower 7 spheres, Chesed, Tiferes, Netzach, Chod, Yisod, and Malchus, right? Right? The 7 shepherds. Who ma shekulam osku b'amshochas hadas hakedosha, because all of them were trying to bring this das into the world. Avraham Avinu started, right? He started bringing the knowledge of God to the world. There's such a thing as of Hashem in the world, and he was preaching that, and he was teaching that to the people. Yitzchak Avinu did the same thing, and all the others. Moshe Rabbeinu certainly did that. Aaron HaKohen did that, right? Yosef HaTzadik did that. David HaMelech certainly did that. Lamshich lebenayim ulevnei benayim ad olam lo'idiyam ki Hashem hu Elokim. Teaching the concept, Hashem hu Elokim. Hashem is Elokim. There's no difference between the God of mercy and the God of judgment. He's one. There's no 2 separate gods. He's one. Hashem hu Elokim. Hashem, kindness, mercy, is Elokim. Judgment. Avraham Avinu was the first of the 7 shepherds to reveal Hashem's Elikus in the world, godliness in the world. To teach us and in all generations to serve Hashem. Aval ikash shleimus haderech hakodesh hazehu shanachnu mibnei v'neihem namshich aleinu datam hakodesh v'anoira shemshichu. It's upon us to draw, connect to that das, to connect to that das that they drew for us, right? The others drew the das into the world of Elikus, of godliness in the world. It's upon us to fall back, to rely on what they brought into the world. That's what we have to do. Until we can awaken from ourselves, to come close to Hashem. Just use the teachings. Use the teachings that all the great rabbis taught us, especially the Avos HaKadoshim, that they taught us. Use those to get closer to Hashem. Because they all taught us, no matter where you are, Hashem is with you. Remember that. Hashem, you can run, but you can't hide from Hashem. He's there with you. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu fills the world with all His glory. And Hashem fills the world with His glory, and no matter where you go, Hashem is there. Don't ever think you're somewhere that Hashem is not with you. And therefore it was very difficult to Kriyas Yamsuf all night long. The splitting of the sea. Until Hashem searched and Hashem looked and He found He found something from us down here. HaKadosh Baruch was looking for something of us that we did. Remember, we have to connect the upper world to the lower world. We have to do something on our own. Hashem was trying to find something good in us. Oh, so then Hashem found, we came from the Avos. Oh, the Avos brought the Elikus into the world. Until the sea split, and we were able to pass through it successfully. But the main schus avos that we're waiting for, that we daven in our Shemon Esrei, Lekei Avram, Lekei Yitzchak, Lekei Yaakov, right? That's only going to come by the final geula, right? The final geula, shetigmar hageula b'shleimus. When the redemption will be, we'll have a complete redemption, not a partial redemption, the complete redemption. And how is that going to happen? Through us awakening within ourselves. All the teachings that were taught to us, the understanding that was no matter where we are, Hashem is with me. And remember that. That's why Shulchan Aruch starts off, Shivisi Hashem L'negdi Summit. Remember that. Remember that where you are, Hashem is with you. That's how Shulchan Aruch starts off. Shivisi Hashem L'negdi Summit. This is the point. They have to remember, constantly remember. Because why? If you remember that Hashem is with you, that means you'll always be doing the right thing. The more you know Hashem is with you, the more of the right things you'll be doing, correct? You don't get that Ruach Shtus. The Ruach Shtus doesn't come in. If you're thinking of Hashem, you don't get the Ruach Shtus. If you stop thinking about Hashem, so then the Ruach Shtus comes in. Right? The Ruach of fouliness, right? What do you call it? The fouliness comes in. Right? The fouliness comes in and the person does what he does wrong. But so long as you could remember that Hashem is with you, we can be saved. And that's how we're going to get to the final goal. That's how it's going to happen. By all us reminding ourselves that with Hashem. Hashem is with us. Hashem itanu. Hashem is with us. Sha'oz daika yumshach aleinu zechusam agodol ad niske ligeula shleima. Until we do this, and if we do this, and we all do this, and the more of us that do this, we rely on Hashem and recognize Hashem is with us, this is what Hashem wants. He wants us to remember. That's why we say the Kedusha, Kadosh, 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 Hashem, Meloi chalaretz kavayda. Meloi, Hashem, I know that your covet is filling the world. I know that. And I know you're with me. And then we say Baruch Hashem, and then we say Baruch Kavayda Mekaymai. Why do we say Mekaymai? Mekaymai, that's the next, the upper world. No, that's the upper world. Malay Chalatz Kavodo is this world. We bring the two worlds together. Okay. Kamay B'Kriyas Yamsov, as it was by Kriyas Yamsov, Shahoyse Gemar Gula Shal Mitzrayim B'China Zois. The same way when we realized that Hashem was with us. When Moshe Rabbeinu said, Ma titzak elai, atem tacharishun, Hashem yilochem ilochem. You be quiet and Hashem will take care of it. That we realize that Hashem is with us. We realize that.
This is between us and Hashem. At what point do we bring in the tzaddik?
The teachings of the tzaddik is what brings you closer to Hashem.
The teachings of the tzaddik.
You need to have, the tzaddik is the one that keeps reminding you that Hashem is with you.
Okay.
He's the one that keeps reminding you. He keeps reminding us that Hashem is with us. That's why we have the Kedusha. That's why the Shulchan Aruch. We keep saying, Kadosh, 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 Emeloi Chalaretz Kavod, Baruch Hashem Kavod, Mimkaimai. We keep redoing it. We keep reminding ourselves. Right? Through Chazal. The Anshe Knesset Gadol set this up for us, right? That's what we said. That's what we do. But now, we're waiting for that final Geula, right? We're waiting for the final Geula. Mashiach to come, the building of the Beis HaMikdash, Hashbayis, Hashlishi, on Har HaBayis, right? We're waiting for that. We want a Geula, we want a redemption, that there won't be any more exile after that. This is the Geula. We're waiting for that redemption that's going to be a complete redemption that will not follow with another exile. A complete redemption. Al-Kei mis'arech ha-golus kol kach. And therefore the golus, this exile is so long. It's 2,000 years, right? What is it, 2,000 years? Of Shalom?
Yeah. We're slow learners.
Saif kol saif tiagula b'schus avos. And in the end, the final redemption will come in the merit of the avos hakadoshim. Umatnas chinam lemana yizbarach. And of course, it'll be a matnas chinam for the sake of Hashem. Like we say, leman shemai. It's for Hashem's name. Right? As we say in the Yosef, it says, "Imay anochi b'tzara, achaltzei v'achavdeu oyrich yamed." Imay anochi b'tzara, right? What does it mean? Imay anochi. Hashem, you're with me in this pain. Hashem, you're here with us. You're dealing with this pain. You feel this pain. If you're in this world, you're feeling the pain that we feel. So, if not for my sake, Hashem, for your sake, why do you have to go through this? Okay, I have to go through it. Fine, but you're with me. Why do you have to go through this? Even when you'll be in the land of your enemies. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, always remember the Brisi Yaakov, the bris of Yaakov Avinu. Zachati is Brisi Yaakov. I saw something amazing. It said that remember when Bilam was riding with his donkey, right? He was riding with his donkey, and the donkey was going up against the wall. Was going up against the wall. He got his foot punched into the wall, right? So you know what that wall was? They say I saw. That wall was the wall that Yaakov Avinu made with Lavan. Gal Eid, Gal Sadusa. What was there? What was there? A stone wall? Where was there a stone wall? Well, think about it. There were no, today we have walls. There was no such thing. There was no walls. He was walking by that what do you call it? That treaty? What do you call it? A monumental wall, right? Right?
What monument?
When Lavan came chasing after Yaakov, right? So they made a treaty. They made a treaty. They made a treaty, and they put up stones.
Yeah.
Wall.
And Lavan called it the Gal Sadusa, and Yaakov called it the Gal Eid. The Gal, what do you call it? The Gal Eid. What? Witness. Yeah. The wall of witness.
What's the Gal Sadusa? What's that?
That's what in Aramaic it means the same thing. Okay, so that was the wall. You see the treaty of Yaakov Avinu. See the treaty of Yaakov Avinu. Hashem is going to remember that. He always remembers that. We were in the biggest trouble that time with Lavan when he was coming to chase us, when he was coming to curse us. We were in big trouble. We were on the brink of being destroyed. Right? We learned a lot about that. Right? Remember? Yeah. Lemani, for my sake, the Navi Yeshai says, Lemani, Hashem says, for my sake, I'll do it. Hashem says, for my sake. Ach Hashem Yisbarach Reitza, Shal Kol Ponim Nis Oire Ma'at Kol Echad Ve'echad Mimokaim Shehu. Hashem wants every single one of us, from wherever level we're at, to awaken a little bit. Let us all do something. He wants us to all do something. He wants us all to do something. Liskarav Elav is brought to come close to Hashem. Ukvar yesh lanu koyach gadol lazeh. We have a lot of koyach to do this, to waken up from ourselves, to waken us wherever we are. Ayadei adasa kodesh, through all the information that the tzaddikim taught us, that Hashem is eternal, Hashem is with us. Shekiblu me'avaiseinu, rabbiseinu, that we got from our forefathers, we got from our rabbis, we got from the tzaddikim hakadoshim. Shoyu lanu b'chol dor ad ata, that we had in every single generation until now. Ba'yedei zeh nisker l'geula shlema b'karev yameinu. Amen. And we should get the final redemption. We're waiting for that final redemption. We just have to trust in Hashem, turn to Hashem just a little bit, because Hashem says, "Lemani, yes, I'll do it, but I want you to be part. I want you to partake in it." Hashem wants us all to partake in that. So the more we do, we get closer to Hashem. The more we trust in Hashem, is the closer we're bringing the Geula. Okay, we're bringing the Geula. Someone sent me a story yesterday. I was reading. I couldn't believe the story. Listen, I'll tell you a story. Okay, it was amazing. It was mamish amazing. How did the story go? Let's see. The story goes that there was a fella that came. There was a fella that came to the tzaddik, and he comes into this tzaddik, and the tzaddik tells him, "I see that you have the reyach of Gan Eden on you. I see you have the reyach of Gan Eden on you." And he asked him, where did you get this from? Where did you get the reyach of Gan Eden? So he says, "I don't know." He says he tells him to send everyone out of the room. He wants to see, "Where did you get this reyach? Tell me." He's thinking and thinking. He says, "I'll tell you. I think I know." He says, many years ago, I was in America. I grew up in America. My father was a Holocaust survivor. Yes, his father was a Holocaust survivor. And every night his father would wake up, and he would have a nightmare, and he would scream. He would scream about what's going to be with all the Jews and the soap that they made from the Jews. Right? The Nazis turned from the skin, from the of the people they killed. They made bars of soap. Okay. You didn't know that, right? You know that? Huh? You saw it, yeah. It's amazing, right? Amazing. Listen to this. Made soap. What's going to be with the soap? No. Wait. So when he says, when I was 10 years old, my father said, "That's enough, and I'm going to do something about this." So he took his son, and they went to Germany. And he made a map of all the different villages and cities and towns and hamlets and everything. And he made a commitment that he's going to go to every city, every hamlet, every town, everywhere, and go to door by door and take back all the soap that they had in their houses. And he took whatever money he had, and he would go to the door and he would say, "I'm here. I want the soap that you have, that the Nazi." And they would give him the soap, and he would go through a city, and then at the end he would collect all the soap. He would go into the forest. He would dig a hole and bury the soap. And he would say some tehillim or whatever he did, right? Said some tehillim, whatever he did there. And he went to the next one. It was at the end. They're on the last map, on their map. They're in the last village, and they're at the last door. Last one. Wow. And they go knock on the door. They had no more money. They used up all their money. They went and knocked on the last door. And this big German guy comes out, and he says, "What do you want?" "We want the soap." "What do you want? It's my soap." What do you want? So he says, "No. It was made from the bodies of innocent people that." Okay, all right. So pay me for it. We don't have any money. So what do you want from me? So this man now says, I spoke up and I said to him like this. I said, this is very, very important to us. Very, very important. And all I have is the shirt on my back. It means so much to me that you give us the soap. I'll give you my shirt. So the German guy said, okay. He brought his soap and he took his shirt. He took his shirt. And then he went and he buried that soap. That's why he had the Reyach of Gan Eden. The guy wasn't a religious Jew. He was not a religious Jew. He was not a Torah observant Jew. We have no idea what little things we do, how precious they are to Hashem. We have no idea. We have no idea. Right? We have no idea. But all we can know is that whatever we're doing, and any time we turn to Hashem, it's very precious. Okay? All right, so that's the lesson for today. It was Rav Efrat. Yeah.
It was his story?
Yeah, okay. I just told the story because it's just something special to Rav Efrat Yosef. He's right. Yeah, okay. We're going to learn now Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, okay? Okay. We're in the laws of Din Misha Lo Yispalel Heich Yishalmena. If you forgot to pray, if you forgot to do a tefillah, how can you pay it back? How do you pay it back? Remember, those are the laws that we're learning at. Yeah. So we learned the law yesterday. Yesterday's law was we did Zion, right?
You were 8. No,
right.
We're on 8 now.
Yeah, I know. We did 7 yesterday. Yeah. Now, what happens if it was Rosh Chodesh, right? And it was Mincha time on Rosh Chodesh. Remember what?
You're out of luck.
You're out of luck. You're out of luck. Why? Because if you forgot Mincha, or you made a mistake at Mincha, or you made the mistake and you didn't say the Yalav Yavo, so then you cannot say the Yalav Yavo at night because again, that's not the same Shmona Esrei, so you missed that out. Now today we're going to do Ches.
Can you make it up next Rosh Chodesh?
No, you can't do that. No, it's only the next. It's always only the next tefillah. Remember, you make up. It can only be the next one, so you certainly can't extend it a month. No. Okay, Ches. Tefillas Musaf. Afal pi shezimna kol hayom. Now, what happens if you forgot Tefillas Musaf on Rosh Chodesh? Right? You forgot it was Rosh Chodesh, whatever, and you didn't have a Musaf, right? You forgot Musaf. Im kain have ma'ariv tefillah asmuchala mikol mokain ein loy tashlumim belayla. Okay, because the next tefillah is ma'ariv, right?
Right.
The next, because you have musaf, you have shachris, musaf. Well, musaf is actually longer than mincha because it goes.
Theoretically, you could have mincha before musaf.
You can. Yeah, because musaf goes all day till the night. It goes till the night. Right. Mishum the tefillas musaf nistakna mishum unishal mefarm sefasenu. And the reason that the whole idea of musaf was established, why? Because we have to pay back, we have to pay up for the sacrifices. Hashem says you could use your words in order to pay for the sacrifices. Right? The kivan sha'avas manay batal karbonai. But now since the time passed, it's not the time of musaf anymore. You can't say the musaf anymore at Ma'ariv, so therefore you missed out tefillas musaf. Okay, so again, if you missed mincha or musaf, you're in trouble in both ways. Okay, but if you daven early enough, like we said, even with the mincha, if you make sure you daven, should we just finish the other two? They're very short.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll finish up Tess and Yud now, and then we'll finish these laws up. Okay. Okay, so again, if you daven mincha, like we said on 8, right? So if you daven mincha earlier, right? If you daven mincha a little bit earlier, and if you made the mistake, you have time. But if you daven only right by the end of Shkia, that's when you have the problem. And if you wait for musaf, the same thing, right? But if you're davening earlier in the day, you can make up the musaf, you can make up the mincha, you can do all of these things. Okay. All right, so it's a good thing to try to daven a little earlier on these days, so that way if you have any trouble, you can still make up the tefillas and everything will go good. Okay, Tess. Mishu tzarich lispalo shachris shtayim, oy mincha shtayim. Right, someone that has to daven shachris twice, not davening shachris, saying the Shmon Esrei twice, because he may have forgotten the Meirah before. So now with shachris, he has to say two Shmon Esreis, right? Or he forgot Shachris and now he has to daven Mincha 2 Shmon Esreis, right? Imhu shliach tzibur yoytzi b'mashu chayzer setfila b'kol ram. Beautiful, beautiful. How do you like that? So if the guy gets up and he'll lead the community now, and he'll say the Shmon Esrei, right? The shliach tzibur. He says the chazar zashatz. He says the tefillah. Oh, that tefillah can be counted as your makeup tefillah. Because you're saying the Shmon Esrei again. So you can count that as your makeup tefillah. So here's another one. If a person forgot, and then he can become the Shliach Tzibah for either Shachris or Mincha, so that'll work. It won't work by Meirah because Meirah there's no Chazar Hashatz. Right? So it works from Shachris or from Mincha. You understand? So any time...
There's somebody else in the Kahal that also has to do it. Is he Yotzi with the...
No, he would have to say his own Shmon Esrei because you're not saying the Shmon Esrei. He's not saying it. Right, the one that's chayav to say it, if he says the Shmon Esrei, he's saying then you can count it. But he would have to say his own.
Okay. So
Well, make another minion, and he could.
So basically, I can make it up. I'm making it up because I'm the chazan and I'm saying it.
You're
anyway.
you're saying it anyway, so that can be counted. You have to have in mind that I'm going to say this, and this I wanted to count for that. Again, it has to be with you have to.
You're saying it twice.
You're saying it twice, but you have to have in mind that I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, okay. Now here we go. Now, Yud, okay, and then we're going to finish as the end, okay? Mi shenistapek loy im ispalo loy loy. Let's say someone has a sub, he doesn't know, I'm in doubt, did I daven or I didn't daven? He doesn't know. Right, and we're talking about all these laws that we learned here. When you realize I didn't daven mincha, I didn't daven ma'ariv, I didn't daven shachris, I didn't daven musaf, I didn't say yalvi. I know, but if you don't know, if you're not sure, mi mishim mistabek layim mispalo lay bisman hazeh she'ein mispalim benedava ein lay chayzer mispalo. You hear this? Today we don't do a tefillah benedava. What's a tefillah benedava? A tefillah benedava is a tefillah Shmon Esrei that I give as a gift to Hashem. But the problem is, by a tefillah nedava, you have to do the tefillah nedava, and you have to have kavanah the entire Shmon Esrei. You understand? So therefore, since today we have problem with kavanah, we can't do a tefillah nedava. And since you can't do it, because if the guy would have said like this, I'm not sure if I daven mincha, so I'll say another Shmon Esrei, it'll be a nedava. Now you can't do a nedava today.
What's in the dava?
A present.
Oh, present.
You give a gift to Hashem, another Shmon Esrei. But if you do that, you have to have complete kavanah the entire time. And because we're not sure today if we're going to be able to do that, so therefore we don't do a tefillah and nedava. So therefore, if you're not sure if you davened, you can't daven again, because again, safek brachas lahakel, right? If you're not sure if you made the brachas, then you don't make the bracha again. If you know for sure you missed it, then you follow all the laws that we learned, right? The only time that if you're not sure if you made a blessing, which is birchas hamazon, benching after you eat bread, right? If you're not sure if you remembered if you benched or not, you do bench again. Why?
You can't repeat that again.
You can. You have to. Why? Because benching is a daraisa, and safek daraisa is the chumrah. Safek D'Rabbanan is lekula, right? Right. So because that's a daraisa, it's a Torah. How do you call it? Torah edict, a Torah law. So if you're not sure if you did it, you say it again. But all other brachas you do not say again. If you're not sure if you made the bracha, don't say it again. Safek brachas lahakal. You do not make the bracha unless you're sure you have to make the blessing. Okay, so that's why when the person doesn't know if he davened or not, since he's not sure, he can't make those blessings unless he knows for sure if he missed it, and then if he missed it, he can. If he didn't, he doesn't do that. Okay, in the Mitzvah Hashem, tomorrow we're going to start the laws of Tachlin. Okay. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you. Kol Tu.